Right now on Our Indiana, we review the spring football game and get an idea for the fall season. And we sit down with softball star Gabby Jenkins. Welcome to Our Indiana. I'm Tyler Sorg. Let's kick tonight's episode off with a recap of the softball performance over the weekend. The Hoosier softball team finished 1-2 in their weekend series against the 25th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. With their win Saturday, the team defeated their first-ranked opponent since 2013. In the win, sophomore Emily Kirk pitched 5 hitless innings, and junior Taylor Uden added a pair of hits. The team sits at 19-24 as they look ahead to a home match against the Kentucky Wildcats this Wednesday. As we move closer to the summer, the makeup of the 2017-18 Indiana men's basketball team is still in question. This past Tuesday, the program announced that junior Robert Johnson and sophomore Thomas Bryant will enter their names for this June's NBA draft. Neither Bryant nor Johnson will sign with an agent, making them eligible to return to IU if they withdraw their name from draft consideration by May 24th. Additionally, the team received some good news Sunday when it was reported that recruit Clifton Moore reaffirmed his commitment to the Hoosiers. With Moore's recommitment, head coach Archie Miller has retained all 3 incoming recruits from the Tom Crean regime. The IU water polo team finished their weekend trip to Providence, Rhode Island, 3-1 with wins against Brown, St. Francis, and number 20 Harvard. In their final match of the weekend, the team fell to number 18 Hartwick 6-8. The Hoosiers' strongest win of the weekend came Friday against St. Francis by a score of 19-6. In the match, Kelly Matthews led the way for the Hoosiers, scoring 5, followed by Molly Williams, who added 3. With the grass turning greener every day, we wanted to see how the golf team is faring. And for that, we turn to Our Indiana's Austin Ghirardelli.
Hello everyone, I'm Austin Ghirardelli, and today we are at the Indiana University Golf Course. Today I'm joined by Will and Trevor, and we're going to do a little friendly 3-hole stroke play competition.
I'm Will Sager. I'm a senior here. I'm from Jasper, Indiana.
I'm Trevor Ranton. I'm a sophomore here. I'm from Waterloo, Ontario, Canada.
All right guys, and if you don't mind shaking hands, we'll get this competition underway.
Good luck. Rock and roll.
So after a practice hole under their belts, the guys here to start off on hole number 2, and to see who goes first, we're going to have a friendly game of rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right, Will's going first.
Let's keep it out of the trees. Way left. Hard left. Did you see it?
Match play, right? That's what I heard at the start.
Par, Will. Stripe show.
Good shot.
There you go. Good swing.
All right, 1 hole down. Will, you got an early 3-stroke lead. What'd you think of the first hole?
I mean, I hit a pretty poor drive. I hooked it in the trees, and I got lucky I had a shot, so knocked it just over the bunker and had a pretty easy up and down.
And Trevor, you were on the other side of that first hole. What'd you think?
I think after that poor tee shot, I kind of just lost a little focus, got away from my game plan going into the hole, and paid the price for it, but hopefully I'll get it back on these next 2. Shot well. Needed 3 more hops. This is real slippery, Will. Back. Oh.
Oh, shoot. It's gonna be either in that bunker or just short of it.
Bring the sunscreen. It's got to skate. Go, baby. You just really wanted the final score to be a little closer, didn't you? Definitely thought that was turning.
Oh, never broke.
Match well.
Match.
A thriller.
After 3 holes, we're back up here at the clubhouse just to talk with our 2 competitors. Will, our victor, with shooting 1 over par. Trevor today, not a bad day, 3 over par. So, gentlemen, any final thoughts on your round today?
Thank you guys for coming out. I mean, I had a good time. A little pressure. Had the camera crew out here. I think it got to Trevor a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be nice to maybe get in a few more holes, see if I could come back from a shaky start like that. But.
All right, until next time, this has been Will and Trevor. I'm Austin Girardelli. Back to you guys.
Stay tuned for after the break when we sit down to discuss the spring football game and get to know softball's freshman phenom, Gabby Jenkins.
Hi, I'm Sage Steele of ESPN. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Indiana University.
Welcome back to Our Indiana. Last week, the football team took to the field for the spring game. Tonight, Brad Davis and Jordan Burroughs sit down with IUS TV football beat reporter Drew Martin on Cream v. Crimson to discuss what to make of it.
Hello and welcome to Cream v. Crimson. Even though it's April, we're going to be talking some IU football today. The Hoosiers just finished up an exciting spring football game, if there is such a thing. The Cream team beat the Crimson team 42-36 in overtime. Here with me to dissect everything that happened is Our Indiana's Jordan Burroughs and IUS TV's Drew Martin. Let's start here at the quarterback position. So coming into the game, and after last year, a lot of people assumed that Richard Lago would be assuming his spot of starting quarterback. But there's actually some conversation that maybe that's not going to be the case after the spring football game. The team led by Peyton Ramsey actually won the game. So I'll start with you, Drew. Do you think there's a legitimate quarterback controversy? Because it is a spring game. I mean, how much stock can you even put into games like these?
Right. You know, honestly, I really don't think there is a quarterback controversy at Indiana. Right now, Lego is the clear #1 option. Did Ramsey have a really good spring game? Yes, he really performed, but I actually talked to Mitchell Page on the sideline, and he told me that the spring game is more for the younger guys to kind of showcase what they have learned in the offseason and then take those tools and really show them on the field. So I think Ramsey, while he did show a lot of promise for the future, I think that's going to really come to fruition once Lego is graduated.
Yeah, and once he steps up one more year, maybe then Ramsey will get the starting position. I kind of look at it like the Dak Prescott, Tony Romo situation. Dak Prescott we know was good, but he had to be good consistently until he get the spot over Tony Romo. I just disagree too. I don't think there's really a quarterback controversy at IU.
And it's actually kind of interesting because, of course, last year, Richard Lego's first year, that was kind of his triumphant, I'm Richard Lego, I'm here now. He played so well in the spring game, and then kind of ironic. A year later, Peyton Ramsey has such a great game, and then there's all this attention on him. He's a redshirt freshman, and he spent all of last year steering the scout team. So then defensive coordinator, now head coach Tom Allen, obviously kind of had a good idea of who this kid was and what he could do. And after the game, he was not shy about saying that he was impressed with his play. But just kind of shifting gears a little bit, last year, Xander Diamont and Richard Lego at times split snaps. Sometimes former head coach Kevin Wilson would have Xander in if he wants to run a more mobile offense. Do you think that maybe that would be something that would work this year, Peyton? Drew, excuse me.
I think that it could be possible. I don't think it's going to happen, and for the reason being, Xander was a really special player. He really brought special pizzazz when he came into the game. He could make those, juke moves that would really catch people off guard because he was so small, and people wouldn't think that he could make the moves that he could. And I think that it's something a little bit different this year, considering Xander and Lego had around the same level of experience at the D1 level last year. Actually, Xander almost had more experience because he played 2 years prior. As you remember, he had a big game in the bucket game and whatnot. But I think this year, Lego, with a second in the Big Ten and passing last year, has really earned the right to have that starting job. And I think until he proves otherwise, I think he's going to keep it.
I think you just get Ramsey in there when the team is maybe already down by 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns going forward. Drew said it best. I mean, Lego's got this position wrapped up, and as an upperclassman leading this football team, you can't get a guy out of a leadership role when he has been through this team. They've been through hell. Getting rid of a coach with all this controversy around him and now having Coach Tom Allen, you just have to give the start to Lego game in and game out until, like Drew said, there's just a tremendous reason just to put Peyton Ramsey in there.
And just to give you an idea of how the two quarterbacks compared in the game, these are unofficial stats, but Peyton Ramsey, 10 for 17, 92 yards, rush and pass touchdown, and interception at the end of the first half on a Hail Mary. And then Richard Lego on nearly twice as many attempts, 20 for 34, 181 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. And a couple more questions real quick before we get out of here. After watching the game, what player got you most excited for the season? Drew?
I think it's the wide receivers. I think there's a lot of promise. Nick Westbrook didn't play in the spring game, but obviously he had a fantastic season last year, almost a coming out party of sorts. He was able to make some spectacular catches, and I think that that on top of the team's leading receiver from 2 years ago, Simi Cobbs, making his return, will be good for Richard Lego and will help improve his passing even more than last year. And on top of that, the most improved player on offense from IU, or at least that the team has come out and said was the most improved, was Ian Thomas at tight end. And I think that he is a big target. I was down on the field, and he's a big guy, so I think him at tight end will be especially important to utilize for Indiana.
I just think that the dichotomy between a wide receiver and quarterback is really important to recognize, because as Richard Lego is getting better, I think players like Nick Westbrook and Simi Cobbs are getting better. Nick Westbrook, I remember the touchdown at the Foster Farms Bowl, remarkable, and it was from Xander Diamont when we were mentioning him. So I think you just have to see that when Richard Lego is getting better, I think the team is getting better as a whole.
Then last thing, so we got to end real quick because John Gruden was, of course, at the game. He had some pretty flattering things to say. He said, and generally just thought that IU football is really on a great trajectory. Something or nothing?
I think it's something. You know, John said that he was, you know, impressed with the program and was really, you know, really kind of wanted to be a part of something. And, you know, for someone like him to come out and say that, it's big for the program.
I think it's nothing. I think they just can't look into it too much. I'm going to go with nothing.
All right, that's all we have for Cream v. Crimson. Back to Tyler at the desk.
Thanks, Brad. The softball team has been making waves as the season progresses, and our Indiana's Nicole Cressine has the opportunity to sit down and talk with one of the team's rising freshmen.
Thanks, Tyler. I'm here with IU Softball's Gabby Jenkins. Gabby, thanks for being here today. How's your day going so far?
It's fantastic.
Great. Glad to hear it. So before we start off talking about your time here at IU so far, I wanted you to kind of fill me in on how you got started with softball in the first place.
Well, I gotta say, my parents put me in, we're kind of like an athletic family. They just put me in all the different sports and music if I wanted to, just really whatever like we kind of wanted to do, me and my brother. And at first I didn't really like softball, like when we played t-ball and stuff, but I kind of narrowed it down when I got into high school, and obviously I liked it a lot before high school, but like that's when I narrowed it down to one sport. So just kind of growing up, my parents let me do pretty much whatever sport I wanted to, and that ended up being the one.
And that's great. And you played at Floyd Central, and you had a great career there. But once you got to come to IU, you know, you are from Indiana, a Hoosier at heart. So what's it been like for you to now be officially a Hoosier here at Indiana University?
Well, it's interesting you ask, because that's like my favorite question probably, because I love Indiana, and like I wouldn't have told you that I was going to come to Indiana like middle school or like my freshman year, but like I kind of, and I've grown up like going to basketball games and stuff, but being here is like even better than I even imagined it to be. So I think that's pretty cool, and just like I love being around the program has made it even better than what I knew to be IU before. So I think just in general, it's just been an awesome experience so far.
And you've had a lot of success so far. You've moved into the role of leadoff hitter for the softball team. So what do you think has been your proudest moment thus far?
Proudest? I don't know what I'd say proudest, but I think like the most enjoyable moment has probably been just getting to play softball with people that are not only like your best friends, but it's like your family. Like you see each other every day, and honestly, that's the best part of being here is the people. And I don't know, I think that's just definitely the best part of playing college softball and being at IU, and just the whole situation all around.
So I heard that you enjoy singing during practice, and I'm not going to ask you to sing, don't worry, but if you wanted to share kind of some of your go-to songs while you're, you know, hitting or hanging out in the locker room with your friends.
Well, love the throwbacks when we're warming up for games. You know, those always get us really hyped. But I sing, they only know I sing because I'm an elementary education major, and I'm in a music class right now, and I have to sing songs for performance checks, so I always share them with everyone. So, you know, the lullabies and stuff, it's always like really ridiculous stuff, but it's fun.
That's really fun. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. It's been great, and that's been Who's That Hoosier? Make sure to check in next week. I'm Nicole Cressine. Back to you, Tyler.
Coming up, we finish the show by looking ahead and seeing what's going on this week.
I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Indiana University.
Welcome back to Our Indiana. Before we sign off, let's fast forward and take a look ahead for the week in IU athletics. Imani Keith joins us now with more.
Thanks, Tyler. The semester is coming to a close, but our Hoosiers are still going strong. The men's baseball team will host the Butler Bulldogs on Wednesday, and then we'll head to Ann Arbor to compete in a 3-game series against Michigan Friday through Sunday. This matchup will be key for them to test the waters for their Big Ten tournament next month. The softball team will also have time to bring the heat before the tournament time. The women will have some home advantages this weekend as they host Kentucky Wildcats Wednesday and Maryland Friday through Sunday. The men's and women's track and field team have a rivalry matchup against Purdue on Saturday. Key standouts to look out for will be Daniel Kuhn as well as Catherine Receiver. The men's tennis team get a taste of some Big Ten action this weekend as they travel to Madison to face the Wisconsin Badgers on Friday. This game will be pivotal to their conference record as they look to better their current 3-6 record. As you all know, Little 5 Week is here, but there is an actual race going on. The women will race Friday at 4 p.m. and the men will follow Saturday at 2 p.m. Be sure to come out and experience IU history. And of course, if you missed any of this week's action, you can find it all on iuhoosiers.com. That's all I have for you guys this week. Back to you, Tyler.
Thanks, Imani. That's all for today, but be sure to tune in next week for more coverage of IU sports. Have a great week from all of us at Our Indiana.